Now, 6 cars hit the headlines today, not for being the first ones off the production line, but for being the first ones to be taken off the roads here by the Department of Vehicle Licensing. Pamela Ballantyne explains.
Well, I have a question for you. Have you paid your road tax on your car? Because if you haven't, this could happen to you. Yes, Northern Ireland's answer to that successful fly-on-the-wall television programme, The Clampers. They're currently touring your streets, and they're looking for cars not displaying a current tax disc. But if you think this is the problem, you haven't seen anything yet. Because once your car is clamped, it stays where it is for 24 hours. Then it's taken to the pound, where it stays for the next 5 weeks. And if all the bills are not paid by the end of the 5 weeks, this is what happens.
What we're trying to do here is to encourage people to actually pay. We're very pleased with the success of the project since it first started. In the last quarter, we've collected an additional £3.4 million.
When did this scheme start?
It started in February.
So it has only been going for the few months?
It's only been going for the few months, but it's been very successful and has acted as a real deterrent against evasion.
This extra money has come from the fees that have been paid to get cars back. That's £68 to get the clamp removed, £135 to get it out of the pound, and £12 for every day it's in the pound. And of course, at all stages, you need to produce a valid tax disc or a surety of £100 to get your car back. Since the scheme was introduced 4 months ago, 126 cars have been clamped, 31 have been impounded, and 26 are still in the pound. So today, these were the first 6 to be crushed. But what about the crushed car owners?
Most of the owners are aware. There are a few that we haven't been able to trace, but nobody has actually come forward to claim those vehicles. But the vast majority, the owners, have signed away their rights and are content to have them crushed.
The DVLNI does not carry out the clamping. This is done by a private company, trained in customer relations, and they only clamp tax evaders. But before any clamp is fitted, careful checks are carried out.
We check with the DVLNI to see what the history of the vehicle and when it was taxed last, and we get authority from those people. If they give us authority to clamp, then we clamp the vehicle where it's held on the highway for 24 hours. After that, it's then brought into the pound, and after 36 days, it's either crushed, auctioned.
This is the last resort for the untaxed vehicles, and one the Department of Vehicle Licensing is keen to avoid. Well, I think it's fairly obvious the message here today is, if you don't pay your road tax, this could happen to you.
Most of the cars unclaimed by their owners after being clamped here for non-payment of road tax were quite literally consigned to the scrap heap this morning. The cars were brought to an auction firm in Newton Abbey. Our environment correspondent Paul Clements reports.
The lineup of battered and rusted vehicles included cars and vans, most at least 10 years old, and all abandoned by their owners after they'd been clamped in Belfast. Each was unceremoniously dumped into the crusher. Three minutes later, at the other end, it emerged neatly packaged but unrecognisable. We are certainly sympathising with some of the owners, but we have to take a very pragmatic view, and that is if people haven't actually paid the motor tax, we have a duty to the other law-abiding taxpayers, and these cars have to be removed from the road. The scheme has so far brought in more than £3.5 million, but the cars which suffered the fate of the mobile punching machine today weren't worth much on the open market.
The cars which we come in and put in the car piles are worth about £250, because the ones worth over that, the people pay and get a tax disc.
It's the end of the road today for this 1987 Ford Escort 1.4S. Its final journey will now be to the scrapyard, where it'll be melted down and, ironically, used to make new cars. Paul Clements, Newsline.